WRSR, Owasso, Flint. The following program has been pre-recorded and is paid for by Discover Flint Township. The views expressed are those of Discover Flint Township and do not necessarily reflect the views of 103.9 The Fox or Krill Communications, Inc. Welcome to Discover Flint Township, a program showcasing our local community. Flint Township is ready for your next move. And now, your host, Flint Township Economic Enhancement Director, Tracy Tucker.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Tucker, and this is Discover Flint Township, brought to you by Flint Township Economic Development Authorities, HAP, Financial Plus Credit Union, Shea Automotive Group, and the Fox 103.9. We are wide awake, and we hope you are too. This morning, we are speaking with Bridget Hollingsworth Stafford from HAP, and we will shine our business spotlight on an innovative technology company called Genetech Global, and we'll talk more about that later, but let's get started with our first guest. Bridget, how are you today, Bridget?
I'm doing great. How about you, Tracy?
I'm good.
Right.
Good. Cold. So for those of you who are new to our show, Bridget is the Director of Marketing and Outreach in Mid-Michigan for HAP. How long have you been with HAP, Bridget?
Actually, in April, it will be 24 years.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I was a health cluster back before the merger with HAP. But yeah, 24 years.
My goodness, I didn't realize I had been dealing with you. I don't think I've been dealing with you that long, but pretty close.
Yeah,
pretty
for
close.
a long time we've been partners for sure.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about today?
Well, it's February, and February is National Heart Health Month. So you see a lot of things out. You see the wear red for women. You see all sorts of information about heart health, and it is so important. We do want people to take the necessary precautions to prevent heart disease and also to protect their heart, and healthy living habits are a big part of that.
Yeah, well, that's kind of fitting, Wear Red Month. And, Valentine's Day coming up, we want to remind everybody, hey, Valentine's Day is coming up. And we had Curtis Flowers on last week.
Oh,
and
nice.
Last week. And they are one of the best places to go. And this is actually airing on Valentine's Day.
That's right. So happy Valentine's Day. Hope you're wearing
I
red.
just realized that. I was like, oh my gosh.
With your Valentine for today, for sure.
Yeah. So what should people know about heart health?
Well, there's three things really that people can do, and I know we'll talk a little bit about them. A few things to keep in mind is to reduce your sugar intake, reduce your salt intake, and increase your activity. So those are three really important things that you can do.
So, okay. Are there easy ways to reduce sugar? Because all the best stuff is in sugar.
Oh my gosh, sugar is everywhere. It's very pervasive, it's addictive, and it's cheap.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But eating too much sugar really it's associated with heart disease and stroke. So we want people to be smart about snacking and make these heart-healthy food swaps. So a few things to think about. I'm kind of an addict when it comes to chips, potato chips and stuff. So a healthier alternative.
Can't eat just
right?
one.
I know. A healthier alternative would be nuts, but you do need to keep in mind that nuts also have kind of high calories. So,
okay, seriously, I can't have chips, but I can have nuts, but not the wrong nuts.
Another really important thing: sugary beverages are just really, really bad for your diet and for your overall health. So think about things like plain coffee or tea, not soda if you can help it, and juices you want to be careful with also. You want to look at, instead of having donuts, maybe try to satisfy your sweet tooth with maybe just a small square of dark chocolate, which we should all have some chocolate in our lives today, right?
Yeah.
And also when you're cooking, look at ways to get rid of some of the unhealthy fats in your diet. Maybe look at broiling or grilling your food instead of frying it where you can. And look at things like salmon or fish instead of always going right for the steak or for the red meat, which is certainly delicious.
Yeah. And then you say ditch the white side dishes, so
exactly.
Like potatoes.
Mm-hmm. If you can limit your rice, potatoes, pasta, and consider that maybe being just a really small part of your meal, not your main meal, and look for things instead like broccoli or vegetables or even a salad maybe. So it's just small little changes that we can do that hopefully will still allow you to have a great meal and still enjoy your food and everything, but being a little more cognizant that some of these things are definitely not good for us.
Yeah. All the best things in life are not good
Isn't
for
that
you.
true?
Isn't that what they say?
Isn't that true? And I'm not a health professional. We've talked about this before. I'm not a licensed medical person, but I work with a lot of them, and I do see some pretty healthy behaviors going on at HAP. So it's possible to do, and it's possible to do it and still have some fun.
Again, we are not
Moderation.
Dr. Bridget and Dr.
Exactly.
Tracy, so,
But moderation really is the key. And if you can find ways to reduce sugar, you really need to try to do that.
Sure. And then what is step 2?
Well, step 2 is trying to reduce your salt or your sodium intake. And a lot of fast food and pre-prepared food is quick and easy, but it's oftentimes filled with salt, and it does affect your blood pressure. There's also a link between high blood pressure and heart disease, so it's something to think about. Over time, high blood pressure can also damage your kidneys, your brain, and your heart. So again, if it's something that you can do, reduce your intake of salt, it's really, really important to do that.
And if you think you may have issues with blood pressure, go to your doctor.
Certainly, for sure.
Go to your doctor.
Definitely part of your regular screening appointments with your doctor should include checking your blood pressure. There are some indications where medication would be recommended, but oftentimes your doctor's going to encourage you to try to manage some of those risks by taking a little more active role in what you're doing, what you're eating, and what you're not eating, I guess.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So then what's step 3?
Well, and this is another one that's pretty intuitive, but increase your activity. It's really, really important to be active. Even though it's, cold out, it's winter in Michigan, there's still lots of great opportunities to stay active and to really take a little bit more of an active role in your everyday life. We really want to see people do at least 15 to 20 minutes of exercise a day, and even that small of a change can really make a benefit for your heart.
Sure. So step 3 is steps.
Steps, for sure.
Take steps.
Yep. And you want to set some goals, but don't go crazy and go from 0 to 60 right away. So make some small, measurable goals. I'm going to get out and walk 20 minutes twice this week. And then once you do it twice, then maybe 3. And so just, don't be crazy about it.
It's all about getting started, too.
Exactly.
Start small. Don't burn yourself out in the first week.
Exactly. And what we find is that after, what do they say, 21 days? We talked about this last time. It takes about 21 days to set a new habit. So, give yourself some time to build up to being more active, more regularly, and also to increase the intensity of what you're actually doing.
That's right. And, most people can do these if one of these steps is one of them more important than the other?
Boy, I'd say they all work together. I think you need to look at your own situation. Maybe you already, like I personally, I rarely drink soda, almost never. Right. So to me, that's no big deal. But the chips is kind of a big deal, and getting off my duff is kind of a big deal. So focus on the things that you are already doing right. Give yourself some credit for that,
right.
and then look at some small ways that you can increase your activity or that you can eat a little bit healthier. I mean, it's in our best interest, and we're setting a great example for our kids as well when we're doing that. And we're finding some ways to build that activity, make it a family time, and encourage your kids to come up with ideas. Maybe they want to go out and throw snowballs, or they want to go sledding. Anything active is really a really good idea.
It is easy when you have little kids because you're chasing them. But I don't have little kids. So my kids are full grown, and my daughter works out, and I've told her, I said, come over, I'll work out with you.
Oh, that does
maybe
really
a workout
help,
buddy.
For sure.
So
a workout buddy, or you can find certified trainers. There's lots of trainers available. There's some great programs available too at the various health clubs, and HAP members do have some discounts for various health clubs in the area. So double check our website at hap.org. Awesome. Yeah. So there's some great deals that would give folks an opportunity to save some money and to join those programs as well.
Because because, if you don't have the free services provided by your daughter, we hope you look at some of the businesses we have here in the township.
For sure.
So let's go back to reducing sugar, okay? Because, I like chips, but I like nuts, so that one's easy. And I'm not a huge sweets person, so the dark chocolate would be good for me. But doesn't all this start with your shopping habits? Because when I'm hungry, I'm not going to run to the store to get a better option, right?
That's a good point, Tracy. And it really starts with what you have at the house. If you don't have healthy food at the house, but you have unhealthy food, you're going to reach for what's there. So take some time to look at what's in your kitchen. Really ask yourself, is this something that I should be eating, that my family should be eating? And again, try to make some simple substitutions, and you don't have to go all the way right away. You've got to just be more cognizant.
And I think a lot of it is cutting down on processed foods, right?
Exactly. You've heard that, shop the perimeter of the grocery store. And if you think about your store, that means the fresh vegetables and fruit, the meat and fish, and the dairy. And try to stay away from so much processed food and where you're getting the frozen meals and stuff, because like we talked about before, they make it taste good by adding extra salt and by adding extra sugar.
Salt.
I know.
Sorry, everybody. I love salt.
It's hard.
So.
It's hard to do.
I'm bad. That would be hard.
But really, even if you just simply don't have products that are processed that add the salt ahead of time, and you hear that, don't just automatically salt your food when you're sitting at the table. Do give it a second, taste it, and be careful. Yeah. But you'd rather almost add it afterwards than to have it throughout the cooking and the process. And oftentimes that processed food has all that salt and sugar so that it is preserved so it doesn't go bad. Yeah. I'd rather eat fruits and vegetables and meat and food that needs to be cooked and eaten pretty quickly. Right. And you don't have that much salt and sugar added to those kinds of natural foods. Right.
So let's talk about the elephant that's been stomping all over the world. Let's talk about the COVID.
Yeah, so I've been fortunate that I myself have been vaccinated now. I've had my second just recently. I was a little bit scared because some people have said that second vaccination can cause trouble, and a few of my friends have had some issues, nothing major, things like headaches, maybe a little fever and so forth, but I've been very fortunate that I feel well. And I have had some people say, gosh, it doesn't seem fair that, I'm not in a risk group. I'm not over 65, and I don't have underlying health risks. But a big part of what I and my team at HAP do is outreach to our members. And as you've heard, I'm certain you've heard, people are kind of skeptical or afraid of the vaccination. So a big part of why Henry Ford Health System and HAP have made an effort to vaccinate so many of our employees is so many of us are charged with helping our members and helping the community at large understand that this is something that we have to do. We really need to have a large number of people vaccinated in order to improve that herd immunity. And so as it pertains to COVID vaccinations, HAP is encouraging all listeners to get the vaccine just as soon as it becomes available to you. And scientific data does support the effectiveness of the vaccines that are out there right now. We also recognize that the supply is limited, and we're continuing to work with the hospitals, the health systems, the health department, and the local and state agency partners to make sure that vaccination supplies are increasing. And of course, we'll have the most up-to-date info on our website at hap.org.
Oh, any last thoughts?
We're here for you. We're here to keep you healthy and happy, and we're well-versed in wellness. So look for plans for you and your family. Visit hap.org for more information.
Well, that's wonderful. Thanks for coming out this morning.
Of course. Thanks, Tracy. Happy Valentine's Day.
If you have any questions for us, please email us at discoverflinttownship@gmail.com or visit our Facebook at Flint Township Events. You can find all of our shows on our YouTube channel, and that's Discover Flint Township. Or if you'd like information on available properties, like I just mentioned, or any other information about Flint Township, you can visit our web pages, discoverflinttownship.com or flinttownship.org. flinttownship.org. I would once again like to thank everyone for listening today, and our thanks to Bridget and Johnny. Thanks for coming. It's been fun. And thanks to our partners, HAP, Shea Automotive Group, Financial Plus Credit Union, and the Fox 103.9. Discover Flint Township with us next Sunday with our special guests from Shea Automotive Group and Gaines Jewelry. This is Tracy Tucker, and I would like to remind everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, shop local, buy local, and discover Flint Township. We'll see you next week.
This has been Discover Flint Township with Tracy Tucker. For more information, visit discoverflinttownship.com. Flint Township is ready for your next move. The preceding program was pre-recorded and was paid for by Discover Flint Township. The views expressed are those of Discover Flint Township and do not necessarily reflect the views of 103.9 The Fox or Krill Communications, Inc.